When I say Tom Cruise, what do you think of? Action movies, jumping on a couch, Scientology? Probably yes, but I also think of his terrific acting in movies that have moved me. Jerry Maguire, Rain Man, The Color of Money, Born on the 4th of July, The Last Samurai, Edge of Tomorrow, Magnolia, A Few Good Men, and many of his action movies. Let's take a closer look at how Tom Cruise lets emotions rise. Our first character we're going to dive into is A Few Good Men, specifically this famous scene.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Tom Cruise's character is in control the whole time, slowly pushing, being sly to erode away and make Jack Nicholson's anger build. He makes Jack second guess himself using his own words against him.
You said he was being transferred because he was in grave danger. You said he was in danger. I said grave danger. You said, is there any
recall what I said.
I can have the court reporter read back to you.
I know what I said. I don't have to have it read back to me like I'm...
Why the two orders?
Cutting through the fat till Tom finally lands a punch that hits the oh sweet sore spot.
So Santiago shouldn't have been in any danger at all, should he have?
Snotty little bastard.
Tom instead pushes forward and lets it fly, knowing if he fights for control that Jack will fight back because that's how he was trained. Dog eat dog.
Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did!
This scene is about power and who holds it. The two of them believe that they're the ones who hold the control until we see Jack lose it and only see red. How in Jerry Maguire, one of the most memorable scenes is where he confesses his love for her.
You complete me.
We see him reaching for her. It's like the first time in the film we see his body language still, like he's telling the truth from his core. Previously, he was using his agent skills and body language like an unspoken punctuation to tell his point, to get him to nudge, to sign a contract, or to move them in a direction to make his life easier, but not in this moment. I think another reason that this scene hits so hard is that throughout most of the movie, his body language is more amplified, like when he gets angry in the bathroom, or when he needs to scream,
"Show me the money!"
It just shows how outlandish and wild his character can be. Where the whole movie he's using his body language in an animated manner, and then the last scene he's still speaking right to her, telling the truth. And I think it adds a lot of emphasis on the scene and gives us a more impactful and powerful scene altogether. And that close-up only enhances it, magnifying his love for her, exposing his heart right to us, the audience. When we think of sadness or crying scenes, we think of the big wailing scene, flowing with tears either from death or love, or both. But sadness is a very complex emotion which stems from anger more than what you might think. In Magnolia, Tom uses a wide variety of emotions in the scene of saying goodbye to his father. We see denial, rage, defensiveness, sadness, begging, interrogation of his father, and forgiveness. Tom executes in this scene. When he walks in, he puts his hands on his hips and makes a joke.
You don't look that bad.
At face value, it's a joke, but by the end of the monologue, we can connect that his true feelings, that it was just under the surface and not wanting his father to actually die. We go on this roller coaster of emotions, and we're on the edge of our seats the whole time. From him speaking down to his father, trying to control his emotions.
I'm not gonna cry.
And physicalizing his own grip on trying to keep his emotions down and not rising to the surface. We see him physically clasp his hands to show how angry he really is at himself. Then to interrogate his father, asking hard questions that he can't even answer, that he knows that his father can't answer because he's unconscious of why he wasn't there, why didn't he call. I think for the character, it releases a lot of this unknown tensity that he's had, like we saw him earlier tense up. I think it's a physical metaphor of how this character has felt for years, tensing up, holding in all this anger, and finally when he sees his father, it flows out. And eventually the wall that he's put up for many, many, many years, even after years of neglect, the memories flashing through his eyes and his father never being there, he still wants his father to stay alive. It's performed beautifully, and I think it shows Tom's true range of just how good of an actor he is in just this one small but impactful scene. In Rain Man, we get to see his whole character change. What happens when someone who doesn't talk and just thinks, Tom Cruise, and put them with someone who only talks, Dustin Hoffman.
Did you hear what I said? Shut up!
We see Tom's transformation from this self-centered jerk who's only obsessed about money and his company into a loving brother and a loving person. Much like his character wearing down on Jack Nicholson, Dustin Hoffman does to Tom. I think the real tipping point of when real change starts to shift within Tom's character is when he finds out that Dustin Hoffman, that he was the Rain Man. And then we see the whole shift of Tom's world change slowly and gets this emotional attachment to his brother. I think we could say the same thing about The Color of Money. Tom's character's only objective is to win. Win, 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 to prove that he is worthy, to prove that he is the best. That's not how you hustle. That's not hustling whatsoever. That's the opposite of hustling. That's just being good. From Tom Cruise's character from the beginning, we get to see an immature character blossom into a slightly more understanding hustler. A great example of this movie is when he goes against that guy in the pool bar. He goes in, guns blazing, swinging around the pool stick, singing that song, and he's about to win. Boom! Paul Newman walks in and he wins, and Paul Newman is not surprised. But now they can't hustle him. They can't pull out the more money because the biggest guy on the block was not their objective. It was the richest guy, now who would not play Tom Cruise in Pool.
That boy's hot. It ain't about pool. It ain't about sex. It ain't about love. It's about money.
But by the end of the movie, we get to see his character grow. The student has become the master. Tom Cruise hustled Paul Newman. In all movies, a story is just character A wants this thing. What is stopping character A from getting said thing? How do they get around it? And what are they gonna do? It's the same thing for a scene. Tom has always performed, in my opinion, the struggle brilliantly. I think it's a perfect reason why all his action movies have worked out so well. They are visual representations of a physical thing that is stopping them. Either a bomb, holding onto a plane, a helicopter chasing them, and we munch on that popcorn and can't wait to see how Tom Cruise beats the ticking time bomb this time. Either through human-defying stunts, learning to hold his breath for 6+ minutes, hanging on the side of an airplane, or jumping out of airplanes. Another thing I love about Tom Cruise is his dedication to the craft. We all know he might go a little far, but you gotta admit it, he goes all the way. Every time. He took a year to prepare for The Last Samurai. The professional pool player that trained him for The Color of Money said he could have gone pro. I think it just shows in all of his performances. It adds another multi-dimensional layer to the characters that might not be apparent at first, but it grounds them. I think the reason that Tom Cruise has lasted so long is because of his time and dedication to the craft. He has the power to take a year to prepare for a role, where many actors nowadays don't. He is always very involved with his productions, trying to make it the best possible movie there is. I think it shows best in his latest movie, Top Gun. He's been working on Top Gun for so long, it's ridiculous. They asked him to do Top Gun 2 when the first Top Gun came out, and he said no, not until the movie's good. And now it's been how many years? And the movie is freaking fantastic. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. I respect Tom for how hard he works to make a movie. I think his passion bleeds through his characters and onto the screen, and we can all tell. I think his career speaks for himself. Thanks for watching.